All right, we're here with Chris, who's going to tell us a little bit about himself, what he does here at Blue Crew Divers, how long he's been diving, and why he loves scuba. Chris?
Hey, how are you, everybody? So my name's Chris, and I am the course director here for Blue Crew Divers. And I started diving, actually my 29th anniversary will be next month, April 12th. I'll be diving for 29 years. I was very young when I started, so I was about 14 years old. And actually learned right in Delaware County at a dive center that's no longer around, and learned to dive up at Dutch Springs. And it was pretty darn cold that day, April 12th, 1992. It was pouring rain, water temp was like 39. And somehow I still fell in love with diving. So it was pretty exciting. I still dive at Dutch Springs all the time, and have been diving pretty much full time since 2000. Became a dive master in '97. It's your first step as a dive pro, and have been really fortunate to just do this as a full-time career my whole life.
All right. Now, what are your goals in scuba?
Well, like I said, I've been doing this a long time, so I have achieved almost all of the goals that are really achievable in what I want to do in diving. So, course director, technical diver, instructor trainer, and so my goals now are: I've got an awesome 9-year-old son who learned to dive over the summer as a SEAL team diver. And so my goals in diving are to continue to travel around the world and take him with me and do some cool stuff, and continue to work with divers who actually struggle in the diving. They're doing it for whatever reason, whether they've got a spouse or a friend or a kid who wants them to go diving, and they're struggling with it. So my goal is to get in the water with those folks that are struggling and really help them get across the finish line.
Now, I know you've been doing this for many, many years. You've probably done hundreds, thousands of dives, but do you have a most memorable dive?
That is such a tough question. I've got over 5,000 dives. To narrow this question down to one is so hard. So I'm not gonna narrow it down to one, because I'm gonna give you a little bit in every genre that I've experienced. So the first time I was in the New Jersey Ocean was one of the most mind-blowing experiences I've ever had. So I learned at Dutch Springs, freshwater lake, and then the following year I took my advanced open water course, and I went down on this shipwreck called the Red Oak with my advanced open water instructor, and it was mind-blowing. They gave us this whole story about what we were gonna do as our advanced open water dive. We descend down onto this shipwreck, and it's just nothing but metal and brass and super cool stuff all across the shipwreck. And while we don't do this today, because it's certainly not something that we advocate, but they handed me a sledgehammer, and we started taking pieces of the shipwreck with us. Back in the early 90s, that's what we did here in New Jersey. It was New Jersey diving, and up and down New York, New Jersey, Delaware, and North Carolina. It was the artifact, kind of a hunting situation. We don't do that anymore. We leave that stuff for everybody to see, but that was one of the most mind-blowing experiences. Here I am on the shipwreck, and instead of doing some kind of neutral buoyancy skill, I'm given a sledgehammer, and let's take this water valve off and take it home with us. So that was one of my most exciting experiences. When I first went to the Galapagos Islands in 2004, the first time I saw a whale shark, it was really interesting how all of a sudden I was this big. And this whale shark was the size of a freighter. And if anybody ever questioned whether dinosaurs existed, that was the moment in time that I was like, absolutely they existed, because there's one swimming right past me. So that was a super exciting experience. And then some super cool technical dives down off West Palm Beach. Actually, it was further south. It was more like Pompano. There's two shipwrecks on top of each other, and they're really deep. They're about 270 feet deep. And the boat, they can't anchor into those shipwrecks. You've got to just jump off the back of the boat and descend and drift into those shipwrecks. And the first time I did that shipwreck, that was pretty wild, because you kind of come cruising in. You've got two shipwrecks just sitting on top of each other. And you just fly right through, and they've got these what look like goalposts, and you just fly right through the goalposts at like 200 feet and drop down onto the wreck. And there's just so many other ones. So those are just my personal experiences that were outside of training that were really cool.
They sound awesome. Now, you've been all over the world, I know this for a fact. Now, do you have a dream diving destination, maybe a place you've already been and you want to get back to, or a place you haven't been to yet?
So I'll answer this two ways. First answer is, if someone were today to tell me, where in the world would you go if you could only go one more place and you'd basically be put there and you can't travel anywhere else in the world? That would be North Carolina. You get everything in North Carolina. You get shipwrecks, you get marine life, you get super cool visibility, blue 100-foot visibility. But what am I looking forward to? It's not a place, it's an experience. I want to continue to get in the water with big critters. So I've been in the water with whale sharks and sharks, from hammerheads to great whites to bull sharks. I want to expand that. I want to get in the water with whales. We're talking, humpback whales, and I know that there's a lot of rules and regulations about being able to be in the water with that, but that's really my bucket list item that I haven't been able to experience just yet, is to be able to be in the water, whether it's scuba diving, if allowed, or snorkeling with whales and stuff like that. So that's the bucket list item that just sits out there that I haven't been able to get to yet.
Now, tell us a little bit, what do you love about teaching scuba?
So I think I mentioned a little earlier that, so I've been teaching for a long time, since '97, and you get a lot of people that get in the water and they just take to it literally like fish in water, right? They get in there, it's easy, they have fun, they roll through the skills, and off they go. Those moments are great for those folks, but they don't really get my motor running anymore. So when I teach, I work a lot with mentoring our instructor staff, and they're getting in the water and they're teaching. And there's always, no matter what program you have, there's always someone that has a challenge. And sometimes those challenges are really big. They're mental challenges or physical challenges. They just can't get over the hump. A lot of times it's math skills. And so those are the students I like to get in the water with, the ones that are ready to quit and give up and get out. And I want to get in the water, and I want to encourage them and work with them, even if we stay in the same spot in the pool for 30 minutes or an hour. I want to get them over the hump. I want them to decide if they want to continue to scuba dive. It's not because there was a skill that they couldn't do. I've been underwater holding hands with people, with divers, swimming around the pool and then graduating into the open water. And that's what I really like about it. And then I teach a lot of instructor development, and I teach some tech training. Again, these are higher level programs that I really enjoy teaching that stuff.
All right, we're going to wrap things up here with some rapid fire questions so we get to know you a little bit better.
Bring it on.
Are you ready?
I am.
All right, favorite color?
Blue.
Favorite pizza topping?
Ricotta and Italian sausage.
Favorite drink?
Swiss Farms tea cooler.
Favorite island?
Grenada.
Favorite movie?
It's either Rad.
I was hoping you'd say Rad.
It's got to be Rad. If not, we can throw in Major League.
Favorite song?
It's either Don't Stop Believin' or Living on a Prayer.
All right. Salt water or fresh water?
Absolutely salt water.
All right. Are you a morning or a night person?
Definitely a morning person.
And what is the color of your toothbrush?
It's navy blue.
All right. And a couple other questions.
Oh, brings you back.
Have you ever spent a ridiculous amount of time at SeaWorld when everyone else wanted to leave?
Absolutely.
Okay, excellent. And have you ever thrown a fish at someone when they were trying to take a nice warm shower?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
He didn't believe that we had caught a fish. We were fishing. I think it was Avalon, right? And we're out there on this little rowboat, and I'm like, dude, there's a fish on this. And he's like, no, there's not. It's seaweed. It's seaweed, right? He didn't want to be fishing anyway. He can't stand the water, right? So here we are, and we're like, what, 10 and 14, maybe younger, 8, I don't know. And we're fishing, and we catch baby shark. The next thing you know, we're back, and he's in the outside shower. I'm like, I told you it was a fish, right? And I throw it in the outside shower. That's what you got.